So first and foremost, I would like to introduce our honorable speaker, Associate Professor Dr. Azidah binti Abu Ziden from USM. She obtained her PhD in Higher Education in Canterbury University, New Zealand, and her expertise is in the instructional design, specialized in e-learning, educational technology and multimedia, as well as mobile learning. And her interest is also in instructional design, specifically in the e-learning environment, educational technology, ICT, multimedia, and mobile learning. She is currently become a coordinator for program Pensiswazahan Guru PPJ USM since 2011. She also been awarded the Most Innovative Content Award under hybrid category in the annual Teaching and Learning Seminar 2011-2012 in USM Penang, Teaching and Supervising Award in the Teachers' Day Celebration Award for School of Educational Studies 2016, and the recipient of Teaching Award for National Academic Award of Malaysia 2017. In category Anugerah Pengajaran, Anugerah Akademik Negara 2017. Without further ado, I would like to invite Associate Professor Dr. Azidah to start her sharing. Over to you, Doctor.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And a very good morning, everybody. Let me just share my screen first. Thank you, Dr. Mazlina, for and also Kam for inviting me for today's webinar. Alhamdulillah. All right. So today, I'm going to share with you all on developing a teaching portfolio. This sharing today is based on my experience as well as me as a lecturer, instructor that teach how to develop a teaching portfolio in a School of Educational Studies USM. All right. So for today's purpose, all right. So I would like I prepared a Google site for you all to refer. Okay, for you all to refer. Let me just copy this. I'll just put it in the chat box. All right, so that you can refer today as well as after this session. Okay, so in this particular Google site, I have let me just open it. Okay, this is the Google site that I'm sharing. Okay, so if you click the link that I shared, you can see that this is the page that I'm sharing with you all. All right, so as well as for today's slide, you can click at introduction. All right, so you will be able to see the slide here. All right, so you don't have to request for slide, it is here in this page. All right, okay, all right, so let me just introduce myself a little bit, although Dr. Mazlina already shared just now. Okay, so at the moment, I'm the Deputy Director in the Center for Development of Academic Excellence, CDAE USM. All right, so I've been in USM around 12 to 13 years. All right, so you can see my profile here in this page as well. Okay, so let me just go back to my slide. Okay, all right, so this is the page of the first page of my hard copy portfolio for pencalonan Anugerah Akademik Negara ke-10. All right, it was 2016. All right, so this is the, if you can see me in the video cam. Okay, I have got a copy of the portfolio, all right, a hard copy of the portfolio, as well as I also have the soft copy of the portfolio, all right. Okay, so for today's webinar, okay, so I will try to expose you all to what is a teaching portfolio, okay, what are the teaching portfolio content, as well as how to develop your teaching portfolio. All right, so I assume that most of you might be lecturers, academic staff of UNIMAS. All right, so this webinar is hopefully will engage you all in the process of identifying the content of your teaching portfolio, because I think that it is important for us as academic staff to have our own teaching portfolio or academic portfolio. The difference between teaching portfolio and academic portfolio: teaching portfolio is mostly about your teaching, okay, but academic portfolio will actually cover all what you do as an academics. All right, so but in teaching portfolio we can slightly actually include our research work and so on, such as what we do in our academic portfolio as well. So it's up to you actually. You can extend your teaching portfolio later for your academic portfolio. All right. Okay, so this was me with my family. Okay, my husband, my youngest daughter, my anak-anak belakang tu, and with the mantan Menteri Mohe, Datuk Seri Idris Yusof, during my AAN award in 2017 with Haji Sharul, from UNIMAS. All right. Okay, so let me just ask you, okay, first, you are attending this webinar. So what is a portfolio? Okay, why we are having this webinar actually? So I would like you all to write in the chat box, okay, what do you think? Okay, what is a portfolio actually? Okay, can you write in the chat box? Have you heard what is a portfolio? Okay, Dr. Shafina, collection of resources, a collection of performance, self-introduction. Okay, thank you, Dr. Juslina. Dr. Solip, a range of investments held by a person or organization. All right. Okay, Dr. Gabriela, a portfolio is a collection of performance and knowledge and experience. Okay, Dr. Soba, a collection of information on our biodata and courses or subjects resources we curate. Okay, and then Dr. Sabrina Lucas, a collection of practice. Okay, all correct. All right. All correct. So thank you everybody for giving your thoughts in the chat box. All right. So actually, portfolio, it is a collection. It is a collection, but from the Merriam dictionary, it says that portfolio is a large thin flat case for loose sheets of paper, such as drawings or maps. All right. So actually, my first degree was in graphics and multimedia. Yeah, I have an arts background actually. All right. So during after I finished my degree, okay, because we had to do some live drawings, we have to do lots of artworks in graphics and so on. So we had a very big portfolio bags, okay, portfolio bags, A2 size portfolio bag to put all our drawings, all our artworks in that particular portfolio bags. And then when we look for jobs and so on, we have to bring the portfolio back to our the employer, okay, the prospective employer, and show them the collection of our work during our degree. So that's why it was the definition is a thin flat case for loose sheets of paper. All right, but nowadays, because we are already digitalized all our artworks and so on, so we are not, you can't see people bringing out their big A2 bags to look for jobs at the moment. All right, not now. Okay, but it was like during my degree time, we had to bring that big a portfolio bag, what we call portfolio bag, to look for jobs. All right. So and a set of pieces of creative work collected by someone to display their skills, especially to a potential employer. So actually, portfolio comes from people who are in arts. All right, because they have to collect, they have to submit their artwork. All right, but now it already changed into a collection of evidence. All right, now as the use of portfolio emerge and widen. All right, portfolio is a collection of evidence that represent achievement and learning within a module or course or program of study. So for students, all right, for students who are looking for jobs, all right, portfolio is an evidence that represent their achievement during their study. All right, so that is for students. However, for us as academic staff, all right, so it is a collection of documents and writing that people assemble, all right, that we assemble to demonstrate our prior learning, our experiential learning, or our whatever we do as a lecturer. Okay, so for now, for teaching portfolio, we are going to look at how we are going to collect all the evidences that we have in our teaching, all right, teaching in the university, okay, as a collection so that we can use it for many purposes. All right. All right. So, and then it is actually more than just a collection. All right. It is more than just a collection. All right. It will include journal entries. It will include many things. Okay. We can include many things in our portfolio, and actually portfolio can also be used for assessing students' learning. For example, if you would like to change your assessment coursework, for example, you can use portfolio as one of the assessment to the students. But for us as academic, it will actually record what we had gone throughout our service as a university lecturer since the first day we enter the university. Or for me, for example, when I did my AAN portfolio, it started back when I was teaching in Polytechnic. I was once a Polytechnic lecturer. So when I did my portfolio, I started with my first day in the Polytechnic, all right, in 1997 at that time, after my master's, all right? Okay, so, and then it can be seen as a type of learning record. So we are recording our learning, all right? Although we are a lecturer, we are an academic staff, but we are actually recording our learning as a lecturer. And it can provide actual evidence of our achievement. All right, so that's why portfolio is very important. All right, and it must be systematic, organized evidence, which is used by the teacher and students to measure our growth of knowledge. All right, how our knowledge grow and how our skills grow, and actually how our attitudes grow. What is the, we can also portray our change of mindsets in the portfolio. All right, so because it includes journal entries, okay, we have to describe whatever we had done in the portfolio. It is not just like a CV, because in the CV, you don't describe everything. You just put the evidences without any further explanation. However, in a portfolio, you need to explain, all right? So why you are here today, actually? Why you need to develop your teaching portfolio, all right? So first, it is for our own self-reflection. Okay, when I first did my portfolio, it was before the AAN. I started doing my portfolio, my e-portfolio, for the purpose of Anugerah Pendidik Sanjungan USM. All right, but I failed. All right, for that particular award, because that was my first time doing my own portfolio, and I think that from there I learned that the most important thing in a portfolio is self-reflection. I reflect from the first day I was being a teacher, being an educator, and what I have improved. Okay, in my first portfolio, I did not mention that. I did not reflect on what I did wrong, what I failed to do. All right, so in a portfolio, you need to include everything, meaning that you don't just put, okay, I am a successful lecturer, I graduated 10 PhD student, I got so many awards. But in a portfolio, as it is a self-reflection and improvement, you may also include your failures. What have you done before that, make you ponder, what did I go wrong? And why I didn't get the award, for example, why I have like half of my student fail in my course, for example, and that is where you do self-reflection and how you plan to improve, or how you have done some improvement to help you to improve your teaching and learning. So the first thing when you do a teaching portfolio, you are actually doing a self-reflection and try to improve your teaching. All right. And this is for us, okay, as educator. This is for us. When we do, it is for ourselves, actually. It is firstly to ourselves. Then it goes to decision making, whereby our employer, for example, for our promotion and so on, we can actually use the teaching portfolio. Okay, in USM, we actually started our teaching track, for kenaikan pangkat, for promotion to, we only at the moment, for the promotion of DS51 or 52 towards DS54, we actually have the teaching track, whereby when a lecturer would like to apply for teaching track, they have to provide their portfolio, teaching portfolio, so that the evaluator will be able to assess what they do throughout the years and so on, and then from there they are going to be called for interview. So it is different from the normal track, which is research track, whereby we don't have to prepare any teaching portfolio. So now we have that in USM. All right. So, and then a portfolio also document how our teaching has evolved. Okay, I think that we as educator, we need to ponder, we need to think of, okay, since, for example, you have been teaching, for example, for 5 years, all right, you have teaching for 5 years, what have you been doing in your teaching in UNIMAS, for example, from the first day you teach, from the first day you step into the academic world, what you have done. Has your teaching evolved? Have you actually, when your first day you give lectures for 2 hours, after 1 year, have you changed your teaching methods? Have you changed your teaching strategies? Have you, from the teacher-centered, for example, when you give lectures, it is a teacher-centered, okay, and that it was tiring, you think that, okay, I think that I would like to change it into a really student-centered activity. So your teaching might have evolved from where you go to class giving lectures, then when you go to class, you just give instruction to student, okay, please do this. I would like you all to form a group and then read some articles and whatever, so that the activity will be done by the student. That's where your teaching has evolved. So from the first year until your 5th years, what have you done in your teaching? So that is the documentation of how teaching has evolved. You need to document it so that you will know that you have done many improvement to your teaching. As well as, for example, let's say before COVID-19, you were teaching face-to-face, 100% face-to-face. But then during the COVID-19, everybody had to teach online. So for those who never teach online, it was really a big task to do, because you have to learn WebEx, for example, you have to learn Zoom, and then you have to manage your students. It is like a lonely journey, because like I'm giving the webinar today, it is like, talking to myself, because I can't see you all. You can see me, but it is like, okay, do they hear me? So it is actually, what during online classes, whereby we don't know whether our students are focusing on our teaching or not. So you need to document it. So that, from today, for example, okay, because maybe this is your first session doing your portfolio, I would like you to advise you all, okay, start screenshots your WebEx, all right, meaning that take photos of your WebEx session, take photos of your students' presentation. When I actually give trainings, I give trainings to new USM lecturers in USM for their khusus pengajaran and pengajaran. We have like 2 times per year. So I am the one who is giving the portfolio section. Okay, later on I'm going to share with you all what our new lecturers do in their portfolio. Okay, so when I give training to them, what I always mention to them, starting from today, I need you all to start selfieing with your student. Start, getting your photos uploaded somewhere, so that your students know that you are, what you do in your classroom. So taking photos with students is important. That is the evidence of you with your students and all the activities that you do in your class. All right, so now, because in USM we still haven't got face-to-face class, so please screenshot your WebEx on it, especially when they click the icon, the emoticons and so on, so that it will show that your class is a very happening class. All right, so it is important. All right, and then the portfolio can serve as a tangible artifact that can remind us, okay, as academics, at any time of the excellence of our professional practice. So for me, actually, I really, treasure my AAN portfolio, because it is a tangible artifact that, can remind me of whatever I have done, and then, but still I am updating my portfolio until now, okay, because I might be able to use it for something. I don't know now what am I going to use it for, but I'm still updating it. All right, and then for interviews of performance appraisal, or if you are seeking for teaching awards and grants, I've in, like, for example, Universiti Malaysia, I always give the talk for portfolio as well. So in the university they have this teaching awards and grants. Okay, so they might be using the portfolio for to apply for teaching grants. Okay, also in USM we have a teaching grant, but not so much. All right, so now we are going to the section of preparing your teaching portfolio. All right, so I hope that by the end of today's webinar, you will be able to start with your teaching portfolio. Okay, how to start? It is not an easy task. When I did my portfolio last time, it was a struggle actually, because I have no evidence. Okay, for example, because I started teaching in Polytechnic Johor Bahru in 1997. 1999, 1999 after my masters. Then, during that time we don't have smartphones with camera. We only have the normal camera. You have to go and get the camera to the film to the shops, and then then you will get the photos. So at that time it was a struggle because I didn't have many evidence of my teaching in Polytechnic Johor Bahru. So yeah, because I never thought that I have to do this portfolio. I never thought that it is important to take photos with my students. Yeah, it was like many years ago. So after I taught in Polytechnic Johor Bahru for 3.5 years. Then I got this USM slab. All right. So, and then I went to New Zealand for my PhD. What happened was all my things when I teach in Polytechnic, it was I keep it in my mom's house. All right, I kept it in my mom's house, and then when I went back from New Zealand, my mom was like she was alone, and then she moved to my sister's house. So all my things were in the old house, and we found, and there were anak-anak and so on and so on. So when I took it back, I have actually no evidence, not many evidences, because all the documentation already musnah disebabkan oleh anak-anak. So it was hard for me to prepare my portfolio. All right, so that's why I would like you all to start with your portfolio today, because start collecting whatever you have, put in a folder in your computer so that you can use it later on. Okay, so fortunately when I searched for things to put in my AAN portfolio, I found a Polaroid photo. That show me with my two students. Okay, two students of mine. So what I did was, I don't know, actually at that time I just uploaded in Facebook, just because I was happy that okay, I found a photo, so I uploaded in Facebook. And what happened was, many of my students add me in the Facebook, my ex-student in Polytechnic, they add me in Facebook. Then when I uploaded the photo, they asked me, wow, Puan, our photo in Polytechnic Johor Bahru. And one of the students mentioned, wow, you all beraninya ambil gambar dengan Puan Azidah, because during my Polytechnic time, I was so garam. I was not, because I was teaching arts, graphic design. So, to help students to get their skills, nak bagi tangan lembut lah orang kata, untuk melukis, we have to like koyakkan kertas, we have to buang dia punya kertas and so on. So budak-budak semua was really takut dengan saya. Alright, so when I uploaded that photo, everybody was like, wow, korang ni ambil gambar dengan Puan Azidah ke? Tak takut ke masa tu? Alright, so, and then everybody said that I was so garang and so on in that particular Facebook. But one of the students said, because Puan garang, because Puan Azidah garang, kami jadi cemerlang. So most of them are now very successful. I got my students doing, already finished his PhD. They were from polytechnics, right? So I had, they were really successful in their businesses and so on. So that particular Facebook page, that Facebook post that I put in my that I upload my photo, become one of the page in my AAN portfolio. It was the only evidence, my interaction with the student, that say that yes, really Azidah during her Polytechnic time, she was really garang. She was really a behaviorist teacher. Okay, meaning that she always memang ada yang tulis Okey, teringat-ringat apa air mata menitik ketika kertas dikoyak oleh Dr. Azidah. Okey, tak tidur malam, lepas tu kena koyak pula. So it was stated in that particular Facebook page. Then I put it in the portfolio so that I have the evidences of what I did in polytechnic. So I hope that if you all would like to do your portfolio, start now, because you won't be, looking for documentation and so on for the evidence of your whatever you do for your teaching. All right. Okay, so these are the general table of content, all right? Table of content in a portfolio, all right? Usually, first you need to prepare your table of content. Just briefly, maybe prepare your background information, all right? Background information of your teacher on you and your teaching context. For example, you are teaching engineering or health science, for example. So what are the contexts of your teaching environment, teaching context? And then this is the most important part. What is your educational philosophy and teaching goal? Okay, I think that most of us, we are not aware of our teaching philosophy. Okay, educational philosophy, we can call it teaching philosophy as well. We are aware of our teaching goal, might be aware of our teaching goal, but we don't know that we actually have our teaching philosophy. All right, later on, I'm going to touch a bit about teaching philosophy. And then you prepare also your teaching artifacts, your documentation of an extended teaching activity. All right, you might have actually go to innovation exhibition and so on, and then you do some innovation, and then you got a gold medal, silver medal, and so on. All right, that is the extended teaching activity that you might do. All right, and then keep on your lesson plan. Okay, every semester you might have a lesson plan, teaching plan for the whole semester. Keep that, all right, because you can see the development of that teaching plan. All right, don't forget to have your class recording, to keep your class recording, the link or whatever. All right, and then your student work sample. Okay, for example, their assignment, if let's say they are doing something, a model, if you are teaching something that, a 3D objects and so on, please keep that. Okay, keep that, or keep the photos. All right, evaluation of your students' work. All right, and then, for example, at the end of the semester, you might have the penilaian akhir semester, for example, and then you might have your students comment. I really like class Dr. Azidah because whatever lah dia cakap, okay. Okay, tapi kalau dia kata, I really like class Dr. Azidah because she is so beautiful, that is not relevant lah, ya. Okay, because it is not about you, it is about the teaching. However, if the students say, I really like class Dr. Azidah because she looks smart and it actually help us to focus in the classroom. Okay, then that is okay. For example, like sometimes lecturers, the lecturers, the way the lecturers, the appearance of the lecturers sometimes actually demotivated students to go to class, because maybe dia selekeh ke and so on, right? So, and that particular comment also student put in the penilaian akhir pengajaran, end of semester evaluation to the lecturers. So if that is the case, you might also want to put that in your teaching portfolio. Okay, for this semester, the student said, Dr. Azidah ni selekeh betul. So, then you put it there. Then what are you doing to change that? Right, next semester, suddenly you got another comment from student, okay, Dr. Azidah, this semester Dr. Azidah telah berubah. Okay, dia memang jadi cantik, berkesan, barulah saya boleh fokus dalam kelas. So that is actually the perubahan, the improvement that leads to student motivation. All right. So you might want to include also your professional information. You might want to also include research activities. All right. In preparing your general table of content. Okay. So this is actually in my portfolio just now. I have the introduction. I have my philosophy of teaching. I have my teaching strategies and creativity and innovation, testimonial. I have testimonial from my colleagues. All right. I have testimonial from my students. All right. My students, undergraduate students, I have testimony from my postgraduate students, and I have leadership in teaching. And then I have my CPD, continuous professional development. I have also my scholarship of teaching and learning, my CV. See, CV is only a little, just play a little part in portfolio. And then my pengiktirafan, community activity, and so on. Okay, this one is actually based on the form for undergraduate academic negara. But in UNIMAS, you might have your own teaching awards and so on. You can actually follow the form that you have to fill in. Then it can also be the table of content for your teaching portfolio. So this is how you document your journey. All right. So you might wonder what should be included in the portfolio. Should I put everything? I have been teaching for 10 years, so I have so many things. So what should I include in a portfolio? So the most important thing is save thing that you have. All right, save first. All right, for today you might not know what am I going to do with the teaching portfolio, but maybe later on you will know what you are going to do. So save everything that you have, and you can decide later what you want to include in your portfolio. And please remember that there is not one perfect way to do a portfolio. All right. So it is a sample of your career-related skill and experience. So it is yours. You know what you would like to include. You would like to hire people about yourself. So there is not one perfect way to do a portfolio. All right. During my AAN time, what happened was, okay, we had this committee that arranged on on printing and developing the portfolio. So we the candidate just give them the outline of what we have done, the outline of the portfolio and so on, the content and so on, but they are going to design it. All right. What happened to me was, okay, the committee said, Azidah, your portfolio is different from others. Okay, because I was a graphic designer, so I designed my own portfolio. So everybody in USM during that time, 2016, what happened was everybody do their portfolio in A4 portrait size. Okay, so when I submitted my portfolio, I submitted in landscape. All right, so the committee said, Azidah, please change it into portrait. Everybody is doing portrait. Why you are doing landscape? But I said, but I have my reason. Okay, so what happened was, because this portfolio, it is designed like something like this. Okay, this is the other way around. Okay, so it is like this. So it is a box whereby you can take out the portfolio, and then we can read it like this lah. If I do it is as a landscape. However, when people do like this, okay, so the box will be not here, it'll be like here. So, you know, everybody is doing the different type of A4 portfolio, but I did a different type. So they were not, you know, they didn't agree with my style, but I said no. I have to do like this because I have designed my portfolio to be in landscape. So I don't want to change it, you know, and I have to fight for that. Luckily, at the end, they say, okay, fine, Dr. Azidah, you can have your portfolio landscape different from others. So it is yours, and you are the one who have to decide, okay, what to do with your portfolio. And you can do an A3 portfolio, and when for last year's EAN 2 years ago, I can see that some of the EAN candidate, they put it in the box, you know, like Dr. Wan Zuhaini's portfolio, she has AR, okay, AR. So scan QR code, they can see the video in her portfolio and so on. So it is yours. You are the one who own the portfolio. You can do whatever you want. All right. So this is the one page in my portfolio. All right. So in your portfolio, you must describe your major strengths. All right. And teaching achievement in a variety of settings. All right. So meaning that what is actually your strength in teaching? You like teaching, you become a lecturer, so you must like teaching. So what are your strengths and what are your teaching achievement? Okay, don't think that, you know, fikir-fikir, saya rasa saya tak ada pun kejayaan sebenarnya dalam teaching ni. Just I go to class and I teach. No, actually whatever small improvement that you do in your classroom is actually achievement, all right, in a variety of settings. First, you teach in your class. Then come say, okay, how about doctor come and give us a webinar, or come invite you to do something, or whatever faculty, other faculties invite you to do a research methodology class, for example. So that is actually your achievement. You share beyond your own classroom, and you should document it. All right. So please highlight. First, you need to highlight your personal strength. Okay. You need to tell people, I am engaging, I am innovative, whatever. You know yourself. But if you don't know yourself, you should ask your colleague, your husband or your wife. They know you more than you know yourself. All right. For example, or you might want to ask your student, do you know actually saya ni orang yang macam mana? So that is actually your personal strength. Okay. And then you might have a certificate. Okay. So if you got a certificate of, for example, teacher of the year, lecturer of the year, lecturer in our faculty in USM, School of Educational Studies, we have a Hari Guru every year, but our Hari Guru is not 16th of May, but our Hari Guru always in October. All right. So during the Hari Guru, what happened was we had the most popular lecturer voted by students. All right. So, you know, maybe you got a certificate, the most popular lecturer voted by students. It is hard to get that because you might be popular in your class, but not to everybody. So if you are voted for a teacher of the year, it should be included in your portfolio. All right. And then this is my academic recognition. I've got a lot of academic recognition that I put. And if you got something like this, you need to actually document it in your portfolio. All right. So it is a very, you know, there are, you should have the list as well as the evidences, as well as the photos in your portfolio. All right. So all the photos. All right. So whatever photos that people took during your training and so on. All right. So put all the photos in your portfolios. That's why I ask you to keep all the precious photos for your portfolio. You might not know what to do now, but it might be valuable later on. Okay. All right. So, any question? Okay, I don't see any question. Right, okay, not a moment. Okay, so in your portfolio, you are going to present selected information on teaching activities and evidences of your evidence of your teaching effectiveness. All right, selected. Okay, you might have so many, but you don't want people to, to be exhausted reading your portfolio. But select the most valuable and most appropriate for the context of that particular portfolio. All right. So photos of teaching activities, for example, okay, this was in 2016, 15. Okay, so at that time, not many people were using Padlet, but I think that now we have so many people using Padlet. But these are documentation. Yeah, this was 7, 8 years ago, I think. All right, for my class. All right, so these are the student works. So at that time, I asked my students to do infographic. They use Padlet and so on. So these are the evidences. All right, and also students' testimonial. Okay, students' reflection can also be your evidence of teaching effectiveness. Okay, you can ask your student. All right, so my question to you all is, all right, how many times, all right, you can answer in the chat box. All right, how many times in the semester did you ask your students to give you feedback on your class? Okay, can anybody, you can answer in the chat box. How many times do you ask your student to give feedbacks on your teaching in the semester? All right, so Barbara 2 times yearly, Shafina 3 at least. Dr. Shuba after every major activity, Dr. Shazrina 3 times, Dr. Chen end of semester, Dr. Angela after every PBL, okay, problem-based learning. All right, okay, so actually, all right, I like Dr. Shuba after every major activity, all right, but for me, okay, I think that every lecturer, you need to do the reflection to get feedbacks from your students in every classes. Each of the classes that you do. You don't have to ask them a very, specific questions and so on. Even in WebEx, okay, even in WebEx, you can ask your students to ask them to put in chat box. All right, what do you think of today's topic? Do you like the activity? Or, but if you ask them to give feedback in the chat box, they might say, okay, it's all good because it is not anonymous. All right, but if you ask them to give feedbacks anonymously, you will get a variety of feedbacks, maybe good feedbacks, okay, not so good feedbacks, and that is where you can change your teaching. All right, because every class you need to get, jangan syok sendiri sebenarnya, ya. Okay, we as teachers jangan syok sendiri sebab we don't know whether the students learn in our class. Okay, that is the most important thing. That's why you need to get feedbacks from your student every time, each time. Okay, so this is one of my class. Sometimes you just need apa namanya this post-it pad. Post-it pad, just give it to your student if it's a face class, kan? You just give this post-it pad to your students and then okay, please write your reflection for today. So ask them to write here, okay, put it somewhere, okay, and then tampal dekat dinding kelas ke whatever, so that is their reflection and it is anonymous. Alright, so sometimes you ask your students to write with their name, but sometimes make it anonymous. So you will get a variety of feedbacks for your class. Alright, so this is one of my feedback after class. So this was in 2015, I think. All right. So what happened was at that time we haven't got the WebEx class. All right. We don't have the Zoom class and so on. So but in my class I actually used Zoom 2015 or 16, I think. All right. So what happened was I am a very busy person, all right, because I'm here in the center and I have to go so many places and so on. I give training outside and so on. So this in this class, all right, what happened was I tried to use the WhatsApp live location, all right, live location in WhatsApp. This class we got like not so many students, so I can use that. So the students, he actually wrote this as a really good positive reflection, all right, because I give them instruction. Okay, you need to do this, then you need to share your location so that you are not going to be at the same place. I need you all to be at home, not in the classroom, because I'm not going to the class. I need you all to be in your class, in your bilik or in your home, at your home. So please share your live location. I don't want you all to discuss face to face. Then I ask them to use Zoom and so on. All right. So this reflection is actually the reflection of student that you can put in your portfolio. All right. And then these are other students feedback in my class. So okay, the student said the class is always think out of the box. All right. So the teaching evidence is important to know that you are effective or not. If you got negative remarks, negative feedback, you might want to keep it because you can show how you improve after you got the negative feedbacks from your students. All right. Then in your portfolio, it is a documentation in context. It consists of organized narrative followed by appendix of supporting materials. So that's why in portfolio, it is beyond CV because you need to organize the narrative. You need to tell people what you do, all right? What you do and how you do it, and you need appendices of supporting materials, okay, evidence as well. So what might be included in a teaching portfolio, all right? So first, all right, in your teaching portfolio, all right, you need to have a statement of teaching philosophy, all right. Then you need to have the statement of teaching philosophy. Whatever I put here, just now I just put some general table of content, but here this is what we can say a must in the teaching portfolio. Your teaching philosophy, this is the thing that non-educational student will have problem. Okay, you never thought of your teaching, never think of your teaching philosophy. Suddenly in your teaching portfolio, you need to put your teaching philosophy. All right, we'll cover that, okay, in a few minutes. All right, and then your teaching responsibility. This should be easy lah. Okay, you are teaching course A, B, C 1, 2, 3, then PGT 1, 2, 3, whatever. Okay, so you must have your teaching responsibility, what you teach in that particular course, okay, what are the outlines and so on. You must also describe your teaching methods. Okay, what do you do for your teaching? All right. And then you must have the evidence of teaching effectiveness that I showed just now. All right, so so these are the most important things that you need
11 o'clock
to put in your teaching portfolio. All right, so now activity. because I know that you might might have not been exposed to teaching philosophy before, unless you are a lecturer in Faculty of Education. All right, so teaching philosophy, it may be grounded in the theory of combination of learning theories. Okay, so you should know, you should be exposed to actually couple of 4 learning theories, okay, which is behaviorism, cognitivism, constructivism, and connectivism. All right, there is a basic learning theories that actually every educator should know. Okay, I'll show you later. All right, and but we understand that most of us, we have only a few lecturers who are in the Faculty of Education that learn about learning theories, but it is okay if you don't put the theories in your teaching philosophy. However, you might want to say about your belief about learning. How do you believe students learn? How do you believe people learn? How do you believe you as a human being learn? All right. So, are you a visual learner? For example, okay, you remember when we did our SPM, our exams last time in university and so on, what happened? We can see that some of our friends, they like to listen to their music. All right, they can listen to the music while learning. All right, they do their work and so on, but they need music. And some of our friends, they have these, notes, nota kecil-kecil, dia ada lukis sana, lukis sini, buat mind maps and so on. All right, there are students who like that. All right, and some students, some of our friends, they just, they have these textbooks or notes, they just read. They read, and suddenly they can get A of that course because of reading. All right, so do you believe that students need to read or need to listen to your lecture to learn? All right, if they don't listen to your lecture, then they don't learn, for example, then that is your belief about learning. All right, so you need to mention about your belief about learning. And then your belief about teachers' role in learning. So what are the teachers' role in learning? You as a lecturer, what are your roles in your students' learning? Do you facilitate or do you guide, or okay, you need to think of that. All right. Also incorporates goals for student learning. So with your belief, how do you think your students learn during your class? Okay. And teaching actions should reflect belief. Okay. For example, okay, you said that in your teaching philosophy, I believe that students should be active in their own learning. Lecturers should give them opportunity to explore, experience, use a lot of tools and so on in their learning. However, all right, in your class, you just give lectures. For example, you go to class and you give them 2-hour lectures and then you go out of the class. You don't give you buat, you said that the student should be active, but during lecture, students might not be active, right? So if you do that, your teaching actions does not reflect your belief. You believe like macam lain, tetapi you buat macam lain dalam kelas you all. Alright, so let us start with your teaching philosophy. Okay, so I would like you all to go to just now this one. Alright, the developing academic portfolio. Alright, so here under the introduction, click on the introduction itself. Under the slide, okay, this is the slide I'm using today. And then you can see that important section in academic portfolio that I put in the Padlet, you can see here. All right, you can actually include your teaching philosophy here. All right, You can include your teaching philosophy here, your belief about learning, and so on. All right. So let me just show you something first so that you will know what to write. Okay, this is actually my website, yeah, Azidah, www.azidahaz.com. All right, let me just share. All right, I have my portfolio here. All right, so you can click here anytime later on, okay, but I just show you. You click at portfolio AAN here. All right, this is the portfolio that I showed just now. All right, so I have all my testimonial, my student testimonial here. I have all my bahan here. All right, so you can have a look. Okay, but this is my portfolio, tak keluar lagi image, but if you click here, it will go to the Google Drive. All right, so you just click here. Here, okay, later on you can do this. I just share with you all. It is, I just share my portfolio with everybody actually. All right, so this is the portfolio. And then this is how I write my, okay, my teaching philosophy. Okay, this is about me. This is about me again. Okay, you can see that in my portfolio, I have a lot of writing in there. Okay, we must show people what we do. All right. This is the one that I tell you just now. Okay, about the students. Okay, during my polytechnic time, and I uploaded this in my Facebook. Okay, and then this was my lecturer. Okay, okay, this is my teaching philosophy. All right. So, because I don't know, it is hard for me to actually tell people about my teaching philosophy. So what I put it in the diagram. Okay, so I tell people, but I have my explanation here. All right, but I put it in the diagram whereby I said that here the behaviorist part. All right, behaviorist part. Before I forget. Okay, under this one, under here, there are learning theories for you to refer later on. Okay, learning theories. So you can refer to these learning theories to help you to develop your teaching philosophy later on. Okay, I'm not going to cover because we haven't got much time for today, but you can read here about the learning theories, very simple. All right, so in here, I said that I was a behaviorist lecturer during my polytechnic time. So I have a stimulus and I have response. So I used a very negative stimulus whereby I koyak kertas student, I marah student, even in my final semester, end of semester evaluation, student panggil saya, Puan Azidah macam nenek kebayan. Macam tu lah I got that, and I put it in my portfolio. All right, I put it in my portfolio that student hated me. All right, so I was a behaviorist because in behaviorist, it believed that the teacher must give stimulus to get students respond. Meaning that kalau cikgu-cikgu kita, when we were at school kan, our teacher bring cane, rotan. Kalau tak hafal sifir, kami rotan. Cikgu rotan. So kita pun balik rumah, kita hafal lah sifir itu sampai kita hafal. Then akhirnya kita ingat the sifir, right? So that was behaviorist. So I was really a behaviorist teacher when I was in the polytechnic. Then suddenly this part I went to did my PhD. And then during my PhD, I was doing it in higher education. So I learned about a lot of things, about theory, about how to teach in higher education. Then I become a constructivist teacher. Constructivist teacher, we give experience to our students. Okay, we help them to develop their knowledge and so on. All right, we create meaning with our students. So these are my what happened in USM. Okay, this was in Polytechnic, this was in USM, And then after that, I try to move to do innovation and be creative in my teaching and so on. So these are the my teaching philosophy. And then this is the explanation here. Saya bermula dari seorang behaviorist yang mana ketika itu saya percaya bahawa pembelajaran wujud melalui rangsangan guru and so on lah. So you can read this. Alright. Jadi then I become a constructivist and then I do reflection. Okay. So this is the reflection of how I become. Okay. Based on my teaching philosophy. Then now I don't actually lecture in my class for many years now. I don't lecture at all in my class. All right. You let's say during my first year in USM was in 2008, whereby I teach ICT, but I did lecture. Meaning that because the students, I have like 150 students that take my course. So how do I do hands-on? So I give lecture in class. So then I move on. Now I don't do lectures at all. My students are all exploring various tools and so on. All right. Even during this COVID-19, all the students enjoy the class because they can learn many things by their own with minimal guidance from me, because I ask them to explore, they teach me. So that is now become my teaching philosophy. I empower my students to learn. I only guide them, all right, and then they can teach me as well. All right, so you can read this in my portfolio here. I have 2 pages of teaching philosophy. So we go back to this one. All right. Can you just try, okay, click here. All right. You can click at the teaching philosophy part. All right, click, and then you can write. Title, you put your name. For example, your name is Dr. Mazlina, for example saja ya. All right, so then you write. Okay, so I think my teaching philosophy is based on apa. I give you around 3 to 4 or 5 minutes. You just think of what you do in your classroom sekarang ni. Okay, what you do in your classroom now. Okay, what would you like your students to learn? Do you give your students tasks, or you think that you still need to provide them with some information, some lectures, what activity that you do, or do you need to give them experience and so on? Then from there, you can actually build your teaching philosophy. Okay, so I'll give you 3 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes. Sebab masa pun tak panjang, so just 3 to 5 minutes for you to just ponder about what is your teaching philosophy. Okay, you can write here. Any question? If you have any question, or just ask during your thinking about your teaching philosophy. All right. So we have the this one is, I think mine is more perennialism at the moment, which should evolve into constructivism. Whose is this? Siapa punya ni? Can you tell me a little bit about what you mean by perennialism?
Doctor, it's me, Angela. I'm the one who wrote that.
Okay, so what do you mean by that?
I looked up, because I'm not very familiar with teaching educational philosophy, but I tried to think about how I teach my students. I'm actually teaching biochemistry mainly to the students. So my approach to the topic is more like I looked it up and it matches perennialism, which is highlighting what's important.
Okay. All right. So it is highlighting what is important, meaning that yes, it is actually more towards
but it's more
constructive.
teacher-centered.
Okay, all right. So it is more teacher-centered, but in constructivism, it is more student-centered. Okay, so but it's okay. We are not going to touch more about teaching philosophy but however, I would like to highlight that it is important that we as lecturers to have our teaching philosophy, meaning that we know what we are going to do in our class based on our belief. What we do in our class is actually based on our belief, bukan masuk-masuk class without any, belief. What you do is actually what you believe. Cuma if you are not you are not aware of what you do is your belief, okay, then might be hard. Okay, so maybe it won't take 5 minutes to know what your belief in teaching. Okay, balik nanti you need to actually think of what actually I did in my class, and what it reflects to my teaching strategies and methods. All right, so in this particular Padlet, actually, it is same as the one that kosong just now, all right? So, but this already have peserta lah before this, all right? So, actually, Dr. Shazrina here said my teaching philosophy more and gamification based. Try to progress to constructivist. All right, gamification. When you do gamification, you are making your student active, right? Because you are student-centered. So you are actually a constructivist teacher. However, when we do gamification, we also, for example, if you use Kahoot, Quiz Easy, and so on, what happened was during your a quiz gamification, you might give some reward to the students. Okay, for example, now we don't give negative stimulus, but we give positive stimulus. Macam saya, during the face-to-face time, class time, I brought chocolates in my handbag, or bring chocolates. Whoever got the most marks or higher in the got the higher marks and so on, they will get chocolates, for example. Okay, or I think that before COVID-19, we have face-to-face class. What I did was I brought Maggie cup. Okay, Maggie cups to student. Bawa lah plastic bag to class with Maggie cups. Why? Because if they get the highest mark, they will get Maggie cup. So the students, they really like it because it is their lunch. Okay, so suka dapat Maggie cup. It is like 3-4 ringgit juga Maggie cup tu kan. So yeah, they really like that is actually when we give the reward, it is actually behaviorist. We still give stimulus to motivate our students, all right? And they respond by trying to get the highest mark for the Kahoot, for example. So it is actually, gamification is actually a combination of behaviorists, also constructivists. Okay, it is not wrong to have combine our belief in our teaching philosophy. All right. Okay, Dr. Shazlina also reward chocolate. All right. So yeah, now online, my rewards e-card only. That is also good. They like it so much actually. And then they might give you e-card as well. So why not keep that e-card for your portfolio, Dr. Shazrina? So meaning that, you give your students e-card, and then how about if they give you e-cards, then you keep that. All right. So yeah, Dr. Shazrina like Kahoot. All right. So Dr. Sabrina, tell me and I forget, teach me and I remember, involve me and I learn. Okay. So meaning that Dr. Sabrina is involving the students in the learning. Okay. So she is a constructivist, meaning that when we involve our students in our teaching, then we are making them active learners. When they are active learners, they will learn more, okay, more than they listen. If they listen, it is like, they can only focus less than 1 minute, okay. when we give lectures. All right, so Dr. Augustine, experiential learning. All right, so clinical teaching, I think that you are teaching health science maybe, so seeing real life patients, all right? So meaning that yes, when we give experience to our students, they will learn. So that is constructivist. I think that most of us are constructivists at the moment, okay? And then Barbara, I don't think it's from here, okay. All right, so actually this Padlet, all right, this Padlet, actually I have actually put some structure, okay, that you can actually put to organize your teaching portfolio. This is actually for UM, so I actually duplicate this for you, but I don't know what happened, but it's okay, you can still use this, all right. So yeah, thank you for your teaching philosophy just now. Okay, so I'll just continue. All right, so for evidence of teaching effectiveness, you can put the students' rating, okay, how students rate you in your final assessment, course evaluation, and then you can actually ask your colleague to do a peer evaluation, all right? So as well as you can actually do self-evaluation, why not? All right, do your self-evaluation. Have you actually do self-evaluation? Have you evaluate yourself? So why not evaluate and reflect what you have done and what have you do? Actually, when you do a portfolio, actually you can realize that sometimes you don't realize that you have made a difference to your students. All right, when you see your student feedback, when they say thank you to you, even when they share their opinion of you, so you can reflect from that. How many students say thank you to you at the end of the semester, and how many students did actually contacted you after they got their result at the end of the semester. So you need to evaluate. Ada ke students yang contact saya selepas dia dapat result? So for me, I think, you know, each of the semesters when the students got their result, they will WhatsApp Dr. Azidah, thank you very much, I got an A. But and sometimes, you know, students got a B minus. Also say thank you Dr. Azidah, I know that it was my fault that but I know that whatever. So it can also be included in your portfolio. All right. And then evaluation by your deans, your deputy deans, and so on. All right. Teaching recognition and awards. So whatever awards from innovation, exhibition, and so on that you get, you need to put it in your portfolio. All right. So let me just skip that. All right, because it will make you confused actually. All right. So then impacts of your teaching and learning. So what are the impacts of your teaching and learning that you need to highlight in your portfolio? All right, please highlight it. Whether it is small, you need to highlight it. Okay, so this is some of my students, okay, my evidence of teaching effectiveness, okay. So I got this student, all right, this is my ex-students, Aaron Go, all right. So he got the most innovative lecturer award in 2017 by KDU Penang, all right. He is a lecturer in KDU Penang. He was doing his Doctor of Education. Doctor of Education is a coursework, doctorate course. Okay, so he got this from KDU, and then he put this in his Facebook. Okay, what he said that, thank you Azidah Ziden, your inspiration, innovativeness are the motivation of my achievement. Okay, he got the certificate, but he acknowledged me as his inspiration and so on. All right, so this is actually my proof, the proof of my teaching effectiveness, because the evidence here. All right, he got the teaching innovative lecturer award and he acknowledged me, so I can put this in my my teaching portfolio. All right, so you can actually do that. All right, so and then this is my keynote speaker, and then during the chat, okay, this is recent, yeah, 2 weeks ago. All right, so in the chat box, for example, please screenshot. All right, then this person said very good and clear speech, Prof. Thank you. All right, and then thank you, Prof. Azidah, for your amazing sharing. So meaning that when people acknowledge you, that is clear of your teaching effectiveness. Okay. All right. So and then I have this. Dr. Nur Asnida Shuko is a surgeon in our HUSM. All right. He is a surgeon. She is a surgeon. So and then she put this in her Facebook. Okay. All right. So she said, this is the main thing. I wish to be like her, dedicated, full of ideas, creative. So this is actually the evidence of my teaching effectiveness, as well as dia ambil gambar saya waktu tengah when I did my training and so on. All right. So this can be your evidence of teaching effectiveness as well. And then this is my ex-students. All right. And then she put in her Facebook. All right. Saya memang sangat-sangat suka kelas doktor. Subjek yang paling saya suka. Alright. So these are also teaching effectiveness. Okay. So whenever you found anything that your student mentioned about you in social media, in Instagram, in Facebook nowadays, student they don't like it so much because orang tua-tua je yang ada kat Facebook ni kan. Okay, they like to use Insta or Twitter. So follow your students in Insta and so on, so that you will get to know how students perceive you as a lecturer. Okay, then what else belong in the portfolio? Your CV. Okay, so CV is only a small part in your portfolio. Then your teaching improvement activities, your instructional innovation. All right, if you go to any teaching and learning innovation event, right? You can see that actually people go there with very simple innovation. Okay, don't think that whatever you do in class is too small to be portrayed in your portfolio. Okay, don't worry about that. Maybe it is small for you, but it is big for someone else. All right, so don't worry about ala saya buat ni tak apa-apa je. Selalu I heard so many of our lecturers say that, don't worry, okay, it is your innovation. All right, so please put it in your portfolio. Scholarly products on teaching and learning. For example, you develop modules, or you help the Kementerian Pendidikan Malaysia or the Ministry of Higher Education to develop modules and so on. Okay, so put it in your portfolio. And then service activities related to learning. Okay, for example, you are doing research on water. All right, you are teaching, you are doing research on experimenting river and so on. So then you go to a kampung, a village, and then you teach the villagers, all right, about water pollution and whatever research that you had done, and you teach the orang-orang kampung and so on. The photos, the activities, and so on can be included in the portfolio as service activities related to teaching. All right. And then samples of electronic course materials in your e-learning platform, LMS. All right. So you need to put the electronic course materials because you are doing a teaching portfolio. Samples of learning outcome assessment instrument. For example, you have a rubric when you evaluate your students' presentation or your students' product, your students, whatever they do, final year project, you have a rubric, for example, that is your actually learning outcomes assessment instrument. Put it in your portfolio because it is actually an innovation as well. Okay. All right. So a portfolio is a place to record one's thought. All right. First, it is your thought on a piece of work, meaning that, you know, whatever you do, it is according to the piece of work, and you are going to reflect and give your thoughts on what you have done. To think critically about an integrated learning experience, your learning experience. We as lecturers, we as academics, we actually learn throughout our teaching. When we teach, we learn. Then what actually have you learned throughout your teaching? And you think about it, what you need to change, what makes my student hate me so much, what makes my student love me so much, okay, and what makes my students, you know, keep quiet during my WebEx session, right? Think critically about it and then write a reflective statement, all right, about your successes, okay? If you get to, you are able to get all your students really active in the WebEx session, how? And what are the challenges, all right? If let's say you try to get your students to say something in the WebEx, but what suddenly, you know, nobody talk anything, speak anything, so how to reflect on that, and then you share with others, okay? Share your work with others for additional feedback, okay? Maybe you can get feedbacks on what challenges, the challenges that you face, or you can use it for recognition, all right? So this is what your teaching portfolio all about. So what to do next? Your portfolio. First, what you need to remember is in the teaching or academic portfolio, first you need to select, all right? Then you need to reflect, you select, you collect, you reflect, and you share. It is, you know, it is going all over. So meaning that you can select, you can collect, you can reflect, you can share, but make sure that when you select, okay, you collect first, then you select, and then you reflect. Select the most appropriate materials, resources, whatever that you want to include, the evidences in your portfolio, the most important ones, the most evidences that will give impact to your portfolio. All right. All right. Sorry, here it is raining heavily in Penang at the moment. Okay, so you can see here I have so many photos. I have so many photos for my portfolio. So keep all the photos of whatever you take photos for your activity and so on. Keep it. All right. So what I would like to highlight in this particular paragraph is that your portfolio is a dynamic document and it must be updated continuously. So it is not like, you know, you do a portfolio, suddenly it is done. It might be done for a particular purpose. For example, when you would like to submit it for your teaching award or whatever, your teaching track, naik pangkat and so on. However, after you have submitted, you might want to update it continuously. Update, and update. That's why although I have my AAN portfolio, I still update my portfolio, and what I did was I updated in my website azidah.az.com because it is easier to update it online. All right. Okay. Not conclusion yet because I haven't shown you the contoh, the example of other people's portfolio, because my portfolio is AAN portfolio, but we have the portfolio for our new lecturers. So they start from scratch to do their portfolio for pengesahan jawatan dia. So in USM, one of the component to sah jawatan is to do a portfolio. They have to attend 2 weeks PMP program, teaching and learning program. After the 2 weeks, during the 2 weeks program, I give them the 1 day portfolio training. All right, and then after that, they are given time to finish their portfolio. So during but it has to be less than 3 years lah. Kalau lambat dia siapkan portfolio dia, lambatlah sah jawatan. They are not giving they cannot sah jawatan if they don't siapkan the portfolio. So this is what we do in USM lah. However, maybe nampak susah, tetapi actually it really helps the lecturers. Okay, I got good feedbacks from the lecturers. So this is our e-learning platform, our learning management platform. All right, so under our learning management platform, I think UNIMAS also use a Moodle, so it is the same. However, under our e-learn, we have this is our course management, this is teaching assessment for the final end of semester teaching assessment. And then we have another component which is e-portfolio Mahara. It is a plugin. It is a plugin whereby all our students and our lecturers are able to access the e-portfolio Mahara. Okay, so if I click here, I already open it. When I click here, it will go here to the dashboard of Mahara. Okay, this is the Mahara plugin. Okay, so this is the plugin whereby when all the lecturers and students log into the system, they will see the dashboard, the content, portfolio, and so on. So during the PMP, khusus pengajaran dan pengajaran, teaching and learning program, I actually teach them how to use this. All right, so it is quite similar to like Facebook because it is also a social media. All right, so I have many groups here because I am the administrators of the Mahara lah. Okay, so let me just share with you all some of the samples of portfolio that have been done by our lecturers and our students. Yeah. Okay, so this is our second last batch because we had another batch after pandemic COVID-19 last time. All right, so this is all the new lecturers in USM 2020. Okay, so this is actually I always give them put them in a group. So I have PMP 2020, PMP 2018, and so on. All right, so that's why so many groups. All right, and then before they start their portfolio, I show them the previous lecturers' portfolio. Okay, let me just open one. All right, so this is Dr. Ashraf. He was a new lecturer in USM. So what he did was, all right, he put a banner here. Welcome to my e-portfolio. Okay. Then he put his photo here, his academic qualification. He had his CV. He uploaded his CV, so you can see his CV here. Okay, so it can be downloaded as well. Okay, and then all his recent publication and so on. All right. So and then his PhD in neural networks. All right, mathematics. All right, so this is the faculty is in Faculty of Distance Education. All right, so he has behind the scene of my online class. All right, so he had his calendar here, So his computer here and so on. All right. Then we can go to the next page of his portfolio. All right. So in our requirement for the new lecturers, we one of the component that is compulsory for their teaching portfolio is their teaching philosophy. That's why, you know, you need to consider looking at your teaching philosophy and then write your teaching philosophy. So he said teaching philosophy and belief of assessment. All right, this is his teaching philosophy. All right, because he is teaching in school of distance education, so he have to admit that 88% of my students are older than him. All right, and one of his student last semester was a senior citizen, age about 60 years old. So this might, you know, help in actually how he teach, you know, because teaching undergraduate students, younger students is different from you teach adult students. So actually um, uh, it might actually influence his teaching philosophy. Okay, and then he has the best quote about teaching. Yang ini yang tadi di-share dekat Padlet tadi kan. Alright. Dr. apa tadi ya? Share this one. Dr. Sabrina. Alright, Dr. Sabrina share this one just now. Alright. Okay, so this is his second page, and then his teaching tagline, teaching is a work of heart, and then he put his teaching platform, belief in assessment, all right, and then video assignment for JIM, JIM 40417. So this is assignment by his students. So he put the assignment. So in our Mahara, the video can be played macam website biasa lah. Alright.
Dr. Azidah,
Yeah.
there is a question from AP Dr. Soba. She asked about which portfolio sites would you recommend for us to develop our portfolio?
Okay, all right. So which site? Okay, to start with, I would advise you all, because you don't have a specific website for your maybe for UNIMAS. So I would advise you to use the Google site. Okay, Google site, sites.google.com. So it is an easy, because you can see that, you know, I have my Google site here. All right. You can actually start with Google site. So you just go to HTTPS, this one. All right, I just write this in the okay. So the new Google site is easy to be used. All right, to start with your portfolio. Okay, but if you actually use blogspot and so on. For example, yeah, my website here. My website mana tadi, azidah.az.com. Oh, this one. This one, it is actually a blogspot. Okay, it used to be a blogspot. I just bought the domain azidah.az.com, and then I just transfer the blogspot into the domain. But it is actually a blogspot. So you can actually, kalau you dah biasa guna blogspot, then you can start with blogspot. If you think that, you know, but I would like to advise you to use for those who not into technology and so on, Google site is the most easiest way. You just have a dashboard here. Okay, tak sempat lah pula nak ajar, but try go to YouTube and look for how to use Google site. Okay, and then any more question there? Okay. Yeah, perhaps can design one for UNIMAS staff to, yeah, maybe, because I think that some of the lecturers have no, some of the university, they do provide their own platform. I see they have that portfolio, the portfolio platform as well. Okay, all right, so let me just, okay, so this is, I just continue with the Ashraf one. Okay, he has this teaching philosophy. And then his teaching experience and journey. Alright, so dulu dia mengajar di sekolah. Okay, mengajar mathematics, he taught mathematics and so on. Alright, so the photos. Alright, and then his experience in the school, when he become a lecturer. Okay, mengajar calculus, vectors, calculus and so on. Alright. And then this is the third page. So, you know, in our Mahara, we can actually make it into pages. Okay, so for your, actually your portfolio, all right, it is advisable for you to put into pages. That's why, okay, that's why in here, I have this teaching philosophy. So I have teaching strategies and methods, innovation, and so on. So what you can do is when you follow this particular format, so one page can be made into teaching philosophy, one page can be made into teaching strategies, and so on. One page. So if you are using Google Site, for example, so this home page will be some introduction to your portfolio, right? And then, so the first page will be your your introduction, and then the first step will be maybe my teaching, for example. So then you can have the small text for my teaching philosophy, my teaching strategies, and whatever. You can actually, in Google Site, you can actually put the drop down as much as you want. All right, and then developing your portfolio. So, you know, you can put it into a few tabs and then a few drop downs in Google Site. Okay, so but in our Mahara, we can make it like next page, right? So, but this is actually good to start with for new lecturers to start with their own portfolio. Okay, so he put his one course, Gym 101, in one page, so that, you know, he has the course synopsis. He has the instructional planning here. Okay, he has the instructional planning, and then he has the infographics, he has the book, and then he has the sample of lecture note, sample of instructional material, assignment, all right, the question, and then the samples of videos and so on. Then ice breaking via Padlet. So these are all included in your teaching portfolio. All right. So actually, if you update your teaching portfolio continuously, it will help you to actually show the growth of your teaching. All right, how your teaching grow. Okay, so this is one page for one instructional material. And then what else does he got? Okay, and then he got another course, Gym 319. Okay, so let me just go to, okay, so this is the list of what he got in his pages. So he got student feedback and testimonial. See, you know, you can actually put your the WhatsApp screenshot in your portfolio. Okay, doktor, by the way, nak ucap terima kasih mengajar vektor. Result tak berapa hari tu. Okay, so you know, so you can actually put the cards from your students. You are the greatest lecturer ever. So if you got this kind of cards, please do put it in your portfolio, right? And then he got the screenshot from the WebEx session, all right? And then Wi-Fi with his students, okay? And then Okay, and she got cruises and then service, research area, publication, and so on. He included this, right? So you can see that you can put anything in your teaching portfolio, but please first focus on your teaching, then you can actually include something else. All right. Okay. So any question from okay, I think okay. No question from the chat. Any question if you would like to unmute?
Any question from participants? You just need to unmute your microphone and then ask directly to Dr. Azidah.
No question. Let me just
So far, no question.
while waiting for any question, I'll just show one students, okay, because our Mahara can be used by students and lecturers. Lecturers can use this Mahara for student assignment if they would like to use it as assignment. So you can see the difference between lecturers portfolio and students portfolio. Okay, nampak tak menarik? Yang lecturer tadi dah menarik dah tu, tetapi this one Ibnu Sani, alright, he is a student. Okay, then he got this one, and then he got, and then where is his portfolio? Journey of being a teacher. So he is an educational student. All right, so this is about me to become a student. So for me as a lecturer at USM, I think the Mahara is good to help actually lecturers and students to start with their portfolio. You can see that the student, he has his education background, he use infographic, okay, much better lah than the lecturers one, but they are students, so they are much more digital natives compared to the lecturers. Okay, nampaklah interaktif, introducing, siap ada video dekat dalam tu. So yeah, so I think that so see, infographic with video. Okay, so yeah, I'm not going to show more of this one, alright, but he got dia punya reflection. But I think that the most important thing when you do a portfolio is your reflection and progress of if the student of learning to become a teacher, but you as a lecturer, how are you going to reflect on your journey as a lecturer? Because it evolves. Okay, our journey as lecturer evolve, and then I think that my conclusion is when you do your portfolio, your teaching portfolio, all right, we as academics, all right, we also as students, as our student, if you would like to do a portfolio for students, we are creating our own PLE. PLE is personal learning environment, personalized learning environment. We personalize the learning for ourselves, and then we know where we did wrong, where we do better, where we, you know, by reflecting to what to our journey as an academic. So we are actually learning.
It's 12 o'clock.
All right, so I think that's it from me today, 12 o'clock already. So thank you very much. Yeah, so if you would like to contact me, my email is azidah@usm.my. I check my email 20 times a day, so don't worry. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Associate Professor Dr. Azidah, for your insightful and informative sharing. I think this is a very full of content and the tremendous sharing from Associate Professor Dr. Azidah. And I think if you have a question, it might be you can email to Dr. Azidah in order to know more about developing teaching portfolio. So I would like to conclude this workshop today, and I really hope that with this knowledge from Associate Professor Dr. Azidah, it will enlighten you to start collecting, or you already collected. So you just need to amend, or for those who are just would like to start the collection of the teaching portfolio, so you can use the tips and information from Associate Professor Dr. Azidah. That's all for today. Thank you very much for your time and participation in this workshop. All right, thank you very much. So the doctor, yeah, thank you. They said that thank you, PM Dr. Azidah. Oh, from Shazrina, Dr. Shazrina, last time met up in USM face-to-face before COVID. Today met up virtually, still energetic enthusiasm. From Dr. Barbara, thank you UNIMAS for opening up this workshop to outsiders like me. Okay, to be promoted to DG 52, we need to have some kind of portfolio prepared. This would tremendously help. All right, so thank you very much to participant and thank you very much again to Associate Professor Dr. Azidah. InsyaAllah suatu hari nanti boleh face to face kita jemput lagi Dr. Azidah.
InsyaAllah, insyaAllah.
Selamat berpuasa, selamat Hari Raya. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.